What is up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Matt Ramage Show, presented by Quick Trip. If you don't have the Quick Rewards app, be sure to jump on and get the Quick Trip Rewards app. You can use it, get all types of free stuff. You get free rock stars, you get free chocolate milk. You can pick, breakfast sandwiches, and you can do a scratch off game and have your chance to win a Quick Trip Corvette. A Corvette you could be cruising around in with the Quick Trip logo on. I'm sure you can take that off if you don't want to be a Quick Trip. But if I want it, I would definitely keep it on. I'd be rolling. I don't even know if they allow that, but I'd just be rolling around the Quick Trip Corvette. Anyways, thank you all for tuning in. We have a cool guest today. We have the Todd TV. I think that it's the Todd V. But anyways, his name is Todd for sure. From Game on Wisconsin, he does a lot of stuff. He knows a lot of stuff. He knows more than I do about most everything. But let's get into this thing. It's gonna be a fun one, people.
It's Green Bay when that pack come. Watch when the touchdown. Intercept your bag and you ain't like that. I think you need to sit down. It's Green Bay when that pack come. No rats, we stacking cheese. It's Green Bay when that pack come. I got a plug like Poe and that's on me. It's Green Bay when that pack come.
What is up? All right, welcome to the show. The first time we've ever talked. Was I ever on one of your guys' show?
I think we did a roundtable together last year.
Yeah, I think I done a lot of Game on Wisconsin stuff, so at some point we might have been in a group situation. But This is Todd from Game on Wisconsin. So what shows do you all do? So like if you don't suck, and people who are my people might become your people. No,
well, I've got bad news.
I'm horrible. So obviously expectations aren't really high to begin with. But what do you do?
So I co-host Lombardi's Bar with Dan Kotnick and Jimmy Christensen. We go live every Wednesday night at 7:30. Then I've got On Brand and Off Topic, which is a audio podcast that I do with Aaron Alice and Jimmy Christensen. We just kind of cover whatever's happening in the sports world, news, current events, make fun of each other, mostly Jimmy. And then I have a Brewers and baseball podcast as well that is Walking Off.
Beautiful. You're a busy dude.
I try to stay. I try to stay busy. Otherwise, I get in trouble, man.
Yeah, exactly. But so today, before we could, I want to talk about all the Packers of preseason stuff. You're obviously a little bit smarter than me. So I want to get your view on all that stuff. But today, I went on the Packers tour for the first time. I tweeted it out, whatever it was, a while back, a couple weeks ago. I never been on a Packers tour. Like I grew up in Green Bay, been to Packer games, been to Lambeau Field many times for family nights and all types of games or whatever. I never went. So then they're like, "Hey, let's hook you up." Today I went. It was everything that people think the tour is. Like you go through the tunnel, they play the music just like when the players come through. Like, dude, that is like. That was my favorite part. And they have like a little brick thing that have you ever been to on the tour?
I haven't done the tour since 95 or 96.
But
so no.
But that they have like brick, like where they go out and that it's like from the original tunnel that they used to go through. So
that's sweet.
Everyone, from Lombardi's to I don't know what year it's from, but I'm pretty sure it's from way back then. So like you go across the same brick. I kissed it. They thought it was weird. They said, do that again, and you're going to have to leave. No.
Yeah. As long as you keep your pants on, it should be fine.
Yeah, I did that. But it's cool. Like you go to like you see like the media, like where they sit. I do not want to be a media person, but it was cool like to see all that because you can't cheer in there. Like if you're a media person,
yeah,
and you sit in those seats and you watch and they write and they do other things, you can't cheer. I couldn't watch a Packer game and not cheer or scream or make any noise. So like that wouldn't work for me. Plus, I can't write. That's why I have a podcast because I'm not good at spelling to begin with. But anyone who gets the opportunity to come to Green Bay, be sure to check out Packers Tour. They have a lot of different packages. You can do different tours. I think I did the Legendary Tour. There's a whole bunch of different tours. And you can go on the Packers website. There's tours on there. You can schedule them. I think you can just walk in. And if they have availability, you can just do the thing. They got a Hall of Fame over there. It's a beautiful thing. The whole thing is beautiful, people. So go check it out. If you're coming to a game this season or whatever, or if you live in the area, come and check out a tour. Right? I actually saw Rob Dvosky. He popped out of an office. He's like, "What's up?"
Nice.
And then he dipped up again.
Hey,
Anyway,
gotta go.
No, they were talking. He was talking to someone else. But anyways, let's get into this. I'm a little bit winded. I always say this every show. I run up the stairs right before I start. I got to linger a little bit to get my breath back. I'm a fat person, people.
It happens, man. It happens.
Shout out to everyone in the chat for watching. We're gonna get into this thing. If you have any questions like during the show, throw them in the chat. I'll try to get to as many as we can. And what is up? I don't think I can say that name. McCaskey. I can't read.
Yeah, that's McCaskey.
McCaskey. I can read. All right. Then we got Game on Wisconsin's own right here.
Yep.
She says she hates you.
Yep. But, thanks, Aaron, for tuning in. Appreciate you.
But so preseason is almost done. We have one more game. I'm actually excited I get to watch this game on TV because I went to the first 2 games, which I'm not going to complain about. But watching on TV, you get a little more, like, you can see like what's going on. Because at the game, first of all, I'm buzzed up. I don't even remember half the stuff that happened because like just having a blast. But what are your thoughts, like training camp and everything that's happening? Got Funches is out, who I thought was going to do something this year. It sucks for him because he's been out now over 2 years, and I think that this year could have been something for him. He seemed like he was having a good camp, and but so what are your views on the whole training camp? Are you happy? What's going on?
Yeah, this is probably the most confident. I know it's the most confident I've ever been. Is it your birthday, Matt?
It's my birthday tomorrow. I appreciate you, Josh. Well,
happy early birthday.
Yeah, birthday.
So I honestly think that this is a Super Bowl team. That's my pick. They're my pick to win it. And that's not just the homer in me. This is the first time I've ever been that confident in these guys. The attitude from the first press conference with Rodgers and Adams that day, like a couple of guys that you can tell they just mean business. And I know a lot of people have been down on bringing Randall Cobb back. To me, we all saw in Aaron Rodgers when he was tired of Mike McCarthy. We saw an Aaron Rodgers that was still playing good, but was not Aaron Rodgers, right? Like, he didn't want to win for McCarthy. He will win for Randall Cobb. So that's whether he produces on the field or not, just knowing that Aaron Rodgers has a chance to win Randall Cobb a ring, and that Davante Adams has now been to 4 NFC championship games without making it to a Super Bowl. I don't see this offense slowing down at all from last year. Funches, I was with you, man. That the first preseason game, he looked good. He looked smooth. I thought he was going to be a major contributor this year. Luckily, for the first time in years, we can say it seems like we've got depth at wide receiver. And then the other one that really surprised me on the defensive side of the ball, I thought Kamal Martin was going to be a major contributor this year too. And then he got released kind of out of nowhere this week. And I still kind of wonder if that wasn't more of a, just if there was an attitude issue, or if there was something there with the guy that they kind of chose him to make an example of, to say, hey guys, like we're not seeing what we need to out of you guys. And we've got no problem letting you go if you're not going to perform.
Yeah, I think that definitely is something. It's unknown. I don't know what, but like, yeah, that was like even the smart people were confused. Like, I'm always confused when stuff happens. I didn't know that, and then like, oh, that was expected. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, when I start texting smart people, and I'm like, what do you? I saw that. That's pretty weird, right? What do you think's going on? Like, I know what's happening, but I want you to tell me that you know what's happening, so that I can just confirm that you're right.
No, but like you mentioned, I want to get to some of these comments, but first I want to touch on something that you said about Aaron Rodgers wanting to win for Randall Cobb. I think that's huge because I think that probably is a thing, because I remember when it's way different, but the Steelers, when they Roethlisberger's first season, and everyone was talking about they want to get Jerome Bettis a ring. So I think that could be the same thing, because Rodgers loves Cobb. I think a lot of, obviously, Davante Adams loves Cobb. A lot of these guys who don't even know him love Cobb. Like, Cobb just seems like the kind of guy that everyone just loves. And not just him, but like all these guys want a ring. But I just feel like this team would just love to get Cobb a ring. Everyone wants a ring. Rodgers wants a second. Like, and who knows what's going to happen after the season. Davante Adams is on a contract year. Like, he's going to want to ball out to get all the money that he can. Like, I just think everything is set up. Like, dude, I think they always have like motivation, but this season it just seems like, dude, like this, let's go get it, like whatever the last dance, whatever you want to call it. If it is that, if Rodgers does come back or he doesn't, like he obviously doesn't know. Maybe he even contemplating retirement since he talked about it before this season. Who knows? Like that's so far off. I don't even care. But I would say like all these guys, I think that they have a good. I think that they're not all in. That they want to ball out at like say like Devontae. I think is huge. I think he's gonna go all out on a contract year.
Yeah.
And the whole like he wants to be that number one guy. Like everyone, that's the big debate. Top two, not two. And everyone talks.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's got their list. He's on most of them as number one. But he wants to. He has so much motivation. Devontae Adams does.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think MVS is going to ball out this year. Everyone talks about his drops, but like, dude, he's just so fast. Everyone knows like what MVS is. If he can just catch the ball consistently, which I think his drops are way overblown anyways. Cause like once you are known as a dropper, any drop.
Every drop is amplified.
Yeah. Everyone's talking about like Devontae Adams drops the ball. Everyone's just like, oh, that doesn't happen. Kind of like, yeah. But if MVS drops the ball, they're on Twitter like you. We're all mad at him. But I'm loving the wide receiver room. I'm loving the defense. I think Rashawn Gary is going to be a beast this year. I'm just stoked about this season.
Yeah, I'm high on Kevin King too. I feel like he was going to have a bounce back year, and then once again, his press conference this week. I mean, it was the first time that he's talked since the NFC Championship game, and I loved his attitude of saying, like I'm not going to run from this. I'm not going to sweep it under the rug. I wanted to come back and finish what we started, and I think every guy in that locker room and on that coaching staff knows like this could be a very, very different team next year. There's no wide receivers under contract past this year besides Amari Rodgers. Who knows where Aaron Rodgers is going to be? There's guys on defense that, they've got contracts and cap hits looming. So I think all of these guys know, as close as they were last year, this might be a lot of veterans' last run at getting that ring, because who knows where they all end up next year, right? Aaron Rodgers isn't guaranteed the Tom Brady situation where he goes to another team that's already loaded and they go on a Super Bowl run. Like he did or like Manning did. So it's one of those where I think just those guys knowing, hey, we're this close to it. We got to stick together as a unit and we can make this happen.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I loved what Kevin King said. I actually didn't see the whole thing. A lot of it I was reading. I read sometimes, mostly tweets. But I love how he owned it, because like he knew everyone was going to ask him questions. Everyone going to be down on him. I'm sure he sees on Twitter like fans are just so over the top about it. Kevin King isn't horrible. He had a bad game, was put in some bad situations and made some mistakes, but he owned it and move on from. But I want to get to this comment. This isn't about this. This is about the tour, though. He said, Matt, what was the turf like at Lambeau? It's a natural synthetic blend. I always wonder about it. They do not let you touch the grass. They're like, don't touch it. Don't lean over and touch it with your hand. Don't lick it. I think that was just for me. But it's actually interesting, like about the turf. Like they explain to you like how much like the drainage that's in there. Like they could take like 12 inches of rain an hour before it starts to flood up and puddle. And like the heating under there, the guy giving the tour was much smarter about talking about it. But that field is ridiculous, like how much is underneath it and like how much.
Oh, and the science that goes into it, and just it's wild. I mean that it's been heated forever. That's always been the weird comment about it. What's really crazy when you get down that close though is seeing the crown on it. That's always blown my mind on those fields, because as a lifelong football fan, that there's a crown on the field, but you just get so used to watching it. It looks like a flat field. And then you start watching it or you get up close to it like that. And you're like, oh, that's why running east and west makes guys look faster. You're running downhill. So yeah, it's, and that grass is just perfect.
It looks so perfect. Here's a great comment from your guy Joey the Jaguar. I'm just trying to enjoy my Thursday with the Matt Ramage stream, and then you gotta bring Todd on.
What's up, Joey? Been a while, man.
Yeah, the Underage Packers podcast, definitely worth checking out. But yeah, the field is ridiculous. He was saying, like, I don't need to get all like scientific with it, but he was saying that most fields have like 11 to 12 inches, drain off, so that if it does flood, it drains the sideline. But Lambeau Field only has like 4 inches because they're underground. Their drainage is so good. Anyways, that's what I learned today. When I learn stuff, I'm gonna tell you guys about it. But
that's impressive. And you retained it.
That's the only thing I remember.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm definitely gonna talk about that. It's wild because I was talking to the tour guide afterwards a little bit, and then he was like, you should do this job. And he was like, joking. I was like, dude, I don't remember stuff like that. I could never. I'd be reading notes the whole time.
I just hand out print offs to everybody, and you're like, follow me. I'll show you where stuff's at. Yeah. Read along.
We get lost. We take a wrong turn. Like, I don't think we're supposed to be here. This is not. You be in the basement.
Realistically, how many tours do you think you could give before they said, Matt, we got to let you go?
Probably just one.
That first one's going to get you sent out.
We'd get lost. Like I say, we'd be at 1919 drinking beers. Like, I thought we were on tour. Like, no, we're drinking now. We're gonna drink some beers, and that's the tour. Here's some pictures I took yesterday. But anyways, let's get back to football. Oh, look, it's the greatest. I've never been to any other stadium. The Lambeau Field is just ridiculous, and like they have like these suites that you can rent out and like watch the game, and there's like a kitchen in there. I think like they didn't show us all that, but they walked by them and talked about them. Like, dude, I want to get the kind of money. I don't know how much they cost, but I can't imagine they're too cheap. You can just watch the game like right from there. You got a fridge, all your beer. Dude, that would be like the most awesome thing ever. So I'm trying to get that money.
And what's been really cool about the stadium is, like I said, the first time I was there was the season before they won Super Bowl 31. And then I went the following year, and then I didn't go for quite a while, but it's been really, I went to some games and stuff like that, but those were my first like 2 preseason years. And it's been really cool watching the evolution of that stadium. Going back to when it was just like a tin wrapped building with some bleachers and the field in it, much bigger than that. But to see the addition of all the press boxes and now the south end zone. And, I remember when the Hall of Fame was across the street. So it's cool to see, the atrium and everything that's just came together there is so cool compared to what it used to be.
Yeah, dude, I remember like riding our bikes down to Lambeau Field. You just ride your bikes up, and a lot of times you just say, meet me at Lambeau, and we would just ride around or whatever. But yeah, they were talking about that, the old City Stadium. Like, I went to school there. I remember getting cussed out by my gym teacher on that field. And I was like, this is where some legendary players played. And here I am getting cussed out by this 50-year-old gym teacher because, like, I'm just being an idiot. He called me, the gym teacher just called me Squirrel. He's like, why are you always squirming around? Squirrel. And he would call me Squirrel. But I wasn't, I don't know if you could tell from my great physique, but I wasn't real, athletic.
Gym class wasn't your subject?
No, I wasn't. I couldn't even figure out this stuff. Anyways, let's get back to football here. Ask some questions in the chat. We'll get to some. We got one question here. He said from Joe, you head into Buffalo Saturday, Matt? Free tailgating lessons. Dude, I would love nothing more than to go to Buffalo Packer game. Dude, I can't imagine a better game. I know it's preseason, but I'm sure Bills fans are still going to be out there throwing each other through tables or whatever they do. Bills fans are like the number one respected team from me. Like, I respect the Bills fans like the most. Dude, they've been horrible for like ever. Now they got a team though. I think that they're gonna, and they deserve it. They deserve to have some happiness. Dude, they're like so loyal after being, they're in a Patriots division. The Patriots are like winning everything. Like, dude, that had to just be miserable for them. But shout out to Bills fans. But yeah, I would love to go to that. But no, I'm not making that trip. Can you imagine like a regular season game, Packers, Bills, and like maybe end of the season where both have a lot on the line? Or
I would say even like a Packers Bills Super Bowl, whatever city that's in, I will guarantee you they do not have enough alcohol.
No, dude, Packers Bills Super Bowl, yeah, for sure. They it would have to have trucks just flying in with alcohol and probably some tables, because Bills fans are gonna do the table thing. But if I'm a Packer fan, if I was at the Super Bowl, I'm finding me a Bills tailgate. I'm like, yo, give me one of the tables. I'm crashing through one of them too. I want to try this thing out. I want to see what else. Yeah. I'd probably break some, but I'm very fresh.
You got insurance.
Yeah, I got insurance. I'll be all right. Just pop that thing back in, it'll be all right. But let's talk a little bit. So that I like to talk trash. I don't know if you know.
Let's do it.
So let's talk a little bit. I think I talked about a little bit the other day. Grassi and Eric was on, but Bears fans.
Okay, let's go.
They're excited because I actually like some Bear fans. I got some Bear fan friends. I wouldn't say friends, but people I'm friendly with on the old internet. But they're so jacked up about Justin Fields. And Grassi had the perfect analogy. I'm not even gonna try to repeat it because I'll kill it and I won't do it justice. But it's on my Instagram if you guys want to check it out. But no, but they're so jacked up. And basically, what he was saying is like that they haven't had a quarterback since forever. Like they miss every quarterback. You could argue since '85. They had Jim McMahon. Since then, like I don't know. They had Grossman that was like almost functional. Obviously, Trubisky they thought was like the next greatest thing, but turned out not so much. But I feel like the Bears don't know how to handle a quarterback. So even if Justin Fields is good, I don't think it was a bad pick. I think they finally did something good, but we don't know. Like you don't know. So like they're declaring him like he's gonna win MVPs and championships and he's gonna be the best. And it's funny how quick they are to disregard Jordan Love. It's like when Rodgers leaves, we're gonna have the best quarterback in the league. Like how do you know? Like Jordan Love hasn't really done as much in preseason as Justin Fields because he didn't do anything last year. But so like you don't know, but like I guess let him be happy, but maybe that's not. So what you're thinking on the Bears and all that?
It's just it's true because even when they've had a decent quarterback, like when they had Jay Cutler, they didn't like Jay Cutler because I mean they loved him, but more as like a cult figure than an actual quarterback. They love smoking Jay and the guy that was going to go out and throw an interception and then stand on the sidelines like he didn't care about anything. Where this is the first time that they've been excited about a guy and his potential. And it does make me laugh that he'll make a throw in practice with no pressure going against a 6th-round, second-year cornerback. And they're like, that's the greatest throw that anyone's ever made. No one will ever make that throw again. And you're like, calm down. That's actually, if you can't be rolling to your left and then throw it, 15 yards, you're probably not going to be in the NFL very long. Like that's a pretty standard throw. So it's stuff like that. I don't know if you saw the tweet from Kyle Brandt earlier this week that was talking about how they're saying, don't start Fields week 1 because they have a bad offensive line and they're going against Aaron Donald. And he said, sure, Donald's great, but Fields has seen some really talented players before, which is the most asinine thing to say from the fact that Aaron Donald is a generational talent, right?
Yeah.
And you're talking about a guy who's never taken a regular season snap in the NFL. He's never faced a number 1 defense in the NFL. And you're going to say, oh, he's seen some talented guys. He saw some guys that were talented in college. Okay. As a fan of the Big Ten, he didn't see anybody that can even sniff the jockstrap of Aaron Donald in the Big Ten. Not a chance.
My thing is like whether it's Justin Fields or whether it's anyone, I think it's beneficial to let him sit. Like not everyone. Like you have to know. Like Peyton Manning did it. Like everyone like names all these quarterbacks that did it. But like you can also name a bunch that were thrown in right away and you don't know who they are anymore. But you don't mention them because you forgot about them because their career was ruined. Like if you don't have an offensive line to protect, if you don't want to like beat this dude up like David Carr. Like everyone thought that he was gonna with Houston, and he got sacked like 100 whatever. I don't know how many times, but it was like a record breaking amount of times. So
I want to say it was like 150.
Yeah, it was like an insane amount of time. So like, what can you expect from him? And then it ruins, I think, their development. I think Aaron Rodgers obviously sat for a ridiculous amount of time, more than normal, behind Brett Favre, and obviously worked out great. Maybe he would have been great before, like no matter what, but I don't know. But I think if I was a Bears fan, I would actually want Justin Fields to sit at least half a season, or whatever. It depends how Andy Dalton's doing. If your defense is just playing outstanding, and Andy Dalton's playing like trash, and you're seeing in practice, Fields is doing his thing, like, all right, give it a try, like try to save the season. But I would be very hesitant, but just throwing him out there and saying best of luck, bud. And then if he just, I don't know. I think it can ruin a guy.
Yeah, I was listening to an interview with Peyton Manning. He was on Pardon My Take a couple weeks back, and he was talking about his rookie year where they did throw him out there. He started 16 games. He threw 28 interceptions as a rookie. That's still the record, I believe, for a rookie. And Peyton said that's a record that'll never be broken simply because they'll never leave a rookie out there to make that many mistakes. There just aren't teams like that. Yeah. And I don't look at this Bears roster and say, man, they are a quarterback away from contention. They're not. Realistically, you can't say that they are. Wins and losses don't mean a damn thing this year for these guys. So that's where you let him take, the season or at least half the season to get through the progressions, to feel the game speed, to see what the preparation looks like, to go through all those steps. He's got, I know we all bag on Andy Dalton, but he's been around and there's a reason a guy like him is still in the league. And he's worked with a lot of different coaches. He's a good guy to have you there to mentor. And I think if they do throw Fields out there, this is a team that's going to continue to do what they did with Trubisky, which is, okay, maybe they'll start Dalton for 4 games. And then he either gets dinged up or throws 3 interceptions and a half. And they go, all right, we're going to make the switch. And then they go to Fields. Fields doesn't play well. Maybe he has a good first half in there. They'll start him for 2-3 games. They'll lose a couple. He'll have a bad half, get dinged up because, again, they don't have a line. And then they're just going to flip-flop back and forth where it's like, don't worry about your wins and losses this year, Chicago. Worry about building this team for the future so that when you do decide to take that quick trip Corvette out of the garage, I got you covered on that one. I'll pay some bills for you, Matt. When you decide to take that out of the garage, you've got everything else working for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. And I want to give a shout out to Mark's popping. I don't think he's ever missed one of my lives. So shout out to Mark. But yeah, I was talking about this, Mark, when you're talking about Peyton didn't sit. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like Peyton Manning, I think is like one of the rare talents. Like Trevor Lawrence, a lot of people are comparing him to. So like they're starting him. Like, and if he is that guy, because I ain't no scout, I have no idea. People are saying like he's like, gonna be legit. Then I have no problem starting. Like if the coaching staff thinks like this is a guy, we have enough that he's not gonna get demolished or he's tough enough where he's not gonna like ruin his spirit, then start him because it works for some guys. Some guys flourish. But even Patrick Mahomes sat for a year and he's Patrick Mahomes. So like for me, like I think 9 times out of 10, a guy sitting at least half a season, if not the whole season, is excuse me. Oh my goodness, I'm so gassy. But I think it's beneficial. But anyways, let's talk about this division because I think the Packers are obviously going to win the division. The Bears, it depends how the quarterback play goes. I have no faith in the Vikings ever. So I would think that the Bears possibly could be number 2 unless they just fall apart. But that's the thing. Like every year though, there's always some teams that pop up out of nowhere. Like no one's expecting. It usually doesn't happen in the NFC North. The Vikings might even start 6-0 at some point, and then it is, they end up like winning 8 games the whole season. Right. But what are your views on the Vikings? Like they got Kirk Cousins, so I don't know, it can't be that good. But
yeah,
what are you thinking about the Vikings?
Kirk Cousins is a really good quarterback if you don't want to win too many games. Like he'll make sure that you're consistently picking late teens, early 20s. Like if you want to have a rough draft pick and not have anything in the playoffs to show for it, Kirk Cousins is your guy. Delvin Cook, probably the second best running back in the division. I think you could make an argument he might be a little bit better as a pure running back than Aaron Jones. They've got probably one of the most exciting young receivers in Justin Jefferson. But then you go, really, what else is there and what's on the other side of the ball? Their defense has, definitely taken some changes over the last few years. We saw we were able to expose that pretty easily last year. So it's really interesting to see how they like to get overly confident, but just keep running it back with what they had last year.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just don't have any confidence in the Vikings. I think they're absolute trash. I don't even elaborate on it. They're just trash, and they don't scare me at all. Viking fans do not like me, but I want to talk about like real contenders because Vikings ain't it.
Right.
So like obviously like in the playoff situation, you got the Bucks obviously, and I think they're gonna they're not gonna fall apart. They're just not. Brady wouldn't let that happen. Not that they did it all because of Brady, because he threw 3 picks in the NFC Championship game. Their defense is ridiculous, but I do think Brady is a ridiculous leader. I think he's very good. Everyone plays hard for him. The Bucks are going to be obviously in that contention. Well, I think the Rams really stepped up. I think that Stafford, getting Stafford in. I know a lot of people don't love Stafford. I think Stafford's a good quarterback. He was just he was a Detroit Lion. So what are you going to do? He had some great. The Lions over history has had like 3 great players, but they never can put it all together. They had Barry Sanders. They had nothing for him, and he still just was ridiculous. I remember watching him as a kid. It was like just torch him, just embarrassing the Packers defenses back then. And then they had Calvin Johnson. Like a lot of these guys just retired because they're like, well, we're not going to do nothing here. I might as well just go live my life or whatever. But so Stafford got out. He's over in the Rams. The Rams were in the playoffs last year. Now, if Stafford, I think he's a better option than Goff. So I think the Rams could be a big contender, at least better because they obviously have a good defense. I think. So, what are your thoughts on the Rams?
Yeah, I like the Rams this year. Having some running back issues right now, just once again disregarded any worth of any draft pick ever trading for Sony Michel. I don't even know if the Rams have any draft picks in the next 4 years. Yeah. Like I feel like they just keep trading them all away. But they've got some good targets on offense. I think Matt Stafford, he's been the second best quarterback in the NFC North for a really long time. He's got one hell of an arm. He's a tough guy.
Yeah, he's very tough.
Yeah, he'll go out there and play for you as long as he can walk. So I like him out there. I think this is a much better setting for him. And their defense is, once again, just going to be ridiculous. I mean, you've got a shutdown corner. You've got good linebackers. You've got Aaron Donald. What else do you need?
Yeah, Aaron Donald's mom. But this is a good I don't know much about the 49ers. I know that their fans don't like me because when they lost Super Bowl, I had some stuff to say. But so what's up with the Niners? Are they going to do something this year?
I don't know. I can't tell if they're going to run with, if they're actually giving Trey Lance a shot here, or if they're just using that to try and push Garoppolo a little bit more. They've came out and said that this is the best that Jimmy Garoppolo has looked since he's been with them, and then came out 3 days later and said, well, we're not going to name a starter for week 1 yet. It's still an opening. I agree with Joe on that one. But again, they're a young, exciting team with Ayuk, Deebo Samuel. They've got Mohamed Sanu for a bigger body that's in there. Running backs, I'm not sold on Raheem Mostert or Wayne Gallman. But again, they have one of those lines and a system like the Packers that just can go for it, and make anybody a running back. And then they still have George Kittle and Kyle Juszczyk, who knows what that guy, he might do nothing, or he might just decide to sneak out and have that soul-crushing touchdown late in the game. So you never know. And once again, over on defense, they're solid there. Fred Warner, one of the top middle linebackers in the league. Jimmy Christensen and I the other night were having a talk, and he asked me if I could start a team and build it around one player on offense and one player on defense besides a quarterback, who would it be? And my defensive player was Fred Warner. He's 23, 24 years old, I think, and one of the best middle linebackers. And I think part of the reason I went with him is it's been so long since we've had a really exciting middle linebacker to watch with the Packers that you just that's what you want. That becomes the really cool thing, the sexy toy that you're like, I want one of those. It looks really, watching Tampa's defense, watching Indy last year with Ladarius, like it's incredible to watch some of those guys play, and you're like, I want one of those. That looks fun. So they're solid there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to give a shout out to my guy Drew. He said, "Man's background is fire." I'm assuming he's talking about you. So is that your bar, or is that a green screen? What you got?
It's a green screen. Yeah.
All right. I wasn't sure. I know you wasn't talking about mine, except for I got this awesome helmet, Paul Hornung autograph helmet.
Nice.
Tom Grassi sent it to me. Anyway, so let's go back to talking about the Packers cornerback situation, because I think cornerback is like one of the key spots like on the whole team, because obviously how the NFC Championship game went. But
right.
if Eric Stokes pans out, like I don't think he's going to start to begin with, but even just like have him there, I think it depends how quick he catches on, if he takes over number 2 spot. I think either way, it's huge to have just another, whether it's him at number 2 or whether he's at 3 or wherever they put him, and Kevin King drops wherever it is, more depth at the cornerback situation, because obviously people aren't going to throw over number 23 way. They're not trying to throw over there, so they're going to try to pick on everyone else. So you're only as strong as your weakest link. So like, what are your thoughts? Like, first of all, on Stokes, like, do you know anything? Like, are you smarter than me? Because I've been reading the tweets to see like how he's doing, but I'm stoked for Stokes. That's got to be a shirt at some point if it's not already.
Absolutely. I think he's going to be a really good ball player. What I like is that he's not scared to line up against Devontae in practice with Rodgers throwing the ball. He's been taking that challenge. He seems to have a really good mindset about it, realizing I'm going up against the best quarterback in the league and the best wide receiver in the league, and I'm a rookie. Of course I'm going to get beat, but learn from it. Devontae said he's talking to him and he's always asking questions. Jair and Kevin have been, helping him out too. I love when Kevin King said that, like, no, I'm not keeping any secrets from this kid because he's competing with me for my job. Like, if I can make him better, then we're all better. And that's the end goal, is for everybody to be better. It'd be great if Kevin King has a breakout season and Eric Stokes does too. And then you can just kind of put them on the outside and let Jair do whatever the hell he wants to. I think he's one of those rare athletes, kind of like Charles Woodson was when he was here, where he can play a little, in the slot. He can move around more. He can come on a blitz. You get him into kind of that position. I think Joe Barry calls it the star. You get him in that position and just kind of let him feel the game out and go for it. That'd be great. Yeah.
I think if Kevin King, I think he's gonna have a lot. He's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. He's gonna want to show, like redeem himself. And then if Stokes comes out too, even by mid-season, and if he's playing like a 3-year vet by end of the season or whatever, like that could be huge. I want to give a shout out to Steve over here, giving me an early birthday. I appreciate everyone saying happy birthday. Birthday is tomorrow, so tomorrow is gonna be litty for me. I'm probably gonna have a few beers, but I'm excited about this season. I think the running game, like there's not a position that you can name that like I'm not excited about. I'm excited about the pass rush. I think Rashawn Gary's gonna blow up. I think Preston Smith is gonna have a year. A lot of people have opinions on that, but I think Preston Smith is gonna be ready to go. You got Zadarius Smith, obviously. AJ Dillon, like he didn't get a lot of opportunities last year, but when he did, he balled. Dude's got quads bigger than my gut. And they're
insane.
I don't know if they're that big, but But yeah, I did. I'm just like Aaron Jones is gonna do his thing. Like, dude, like this team, I think, like we said starting off, this team has potential. I mean, super. And if it does come down to the Packers and the Bucks, dude, last year, like how it went down, that they lost to them twice. I guaranteed victories both those games. So I'm wrong a lot, but I think that they're gonna be hungry. Like, they're not gonna, especially like if it ends up in Green Bay again. That's what irritates me the most. In Green Bay, like that was our time. That was the Packers' shot. I felt like, dude, they had every reason to win that game. Didn't work, and it's still frustrating to me. It's one of the most frustrating losses I've had.
I was at that game, and it was like you just couldn't. Like I couldn't figure out what just happened the whole time, because you always have that in the back of your head, and I guess that's the beauty of not having to play against Tom Brady for the last 20 years in the playoffs. Is you've got it in the back of your head where like, this is Aaron Rodgers. Game's on the line. He's going to go get it. No, it's Tom Brady on the other side of the ball. Game's on the line. Even if he's not playing great, he's going to figure out a way to win the game.
Yeah.
But it was a long ride home that night. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I bet. Dude, Grassi's in the building. Quick Trip is more than a gas station. It's a way of life.
True. Very true.
Anyone who watched that show the other day when he was on will understand. But it's true. I got it right here. Let me I'm gonna bring it up. Quick Trip is more than a gas station. It's a way of life, people. If you live in Wisconsin, you truly understand how important Quick Trip is. Like dude, if I'm in your car and you pull into like a Shell, like I'm not getting out of the car. Like no, I might just leave you there. I'm like, I don't want to be with you no more.
There's a Quick Trip 2 blocks away. I'm gonna walk over there. Just pick me up. It's I lived in Phoenix for 3 years. I've been back in Wisconsin now for about a year. And it's true. The Quick Trip, it saves my life time in and time out, especially because I'm out in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, where there's not like late night eats. You need a snack at night. It's Quick Trip or nothing.
It is definitely Quick Trip. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Appreciate you coming on to join me, drinking some beers. Actually, this is the most sober podcast I've done like in forever. And so if this one I wasn't good, now you know why. I need.
Get back on the sauce, Matt.
No, but I think sometimes it's good to have fun. Like we did the other day, we screwed around. Sometimes I just like to talk a little bit of football. You know, when I'm talking to a smarter person than me, which is every time I'm talking to anyone. But we got football season coming, dude. I'm so stoked for it. Like I can't wait for the regular season. Like, dude, it's just it seems like it's been so long. And like the actual talk, because even in preseason, like I'm trying to think of stuff to talk about. Like, I'm not that guy who's gonna be like breaking down, like, oh, I saw this guy in practice. He did. I don't know that stuff. So I need real football, regular season stuff to know, not like what it could be, because I'm not that smart. So I have to actually see it so I can maybe talk some trash about the Bears or the Vikings or anyone else that I just don't like, which is most teams in the league besides the Packers. So like, yeah, dude, I can't wait. I'm pumped up. This season is gonna be so fun. Just watching the Packers and all the fun shows. Like I got stuff planned. I'm copying everything Grassi does. So like it'll just be like a little bit less of what it is. No, but like
it's not a bad blueprint, to be honest.
No, I just think it's fun. I have fun ideas for this year. Everyone, like people on Game of Wisconsin, you guys have like 116 shows now.
Something like that. And
a lot of people.
Yeah. It's been a ton of fun over there. Just working with all those guys besides Jacob. Obviously, he's always a pain to work with. But everybody else is pretty cool for the most part over there.
Yeah, dude, I think Game On Wisconsin has a lot of good contributors, a lot of good people. But thank you all for tuning in. We're gonna set it off, but I'm trying to find this. Here we go. So go Pack Go. Thanks for joining me. It's good to meet you, man. We might have been on a show together at some point, but we never had a really good chance to talk.
Absolutely. Appreciate you having me on.
We'll do this again in the regular season. All right. These beers are starting to kick in a little bit, you know what I mean? Go Pack Go. Shout out to Quick Trip sponsoring the show. We out.
It's Green Bay when that pack come. Watch when the touchdown.